Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and I think this is episode 5 of my podcast. Now this podcast is mainly slow stitching, English paper piecing today, also machine quilting and a little bit of crochet. I will leave the timestamps in the description box below so you can skip to any of the sections if you're more interested in a certain craft, because I do a lot of crafts. Mainly needle stuff at the moment, so yeah. So like I said, my name's Rachel. I live in the Midlands in the UK. I run my own business doing machine embroidery on Etsy. It's mainly children's wear, so not really much to do with the channel. I did initially think that running my own business would leave me with more time for personal crafting, but it just doesn't. So let's get into things. So we'll start off with finished items. I do have quite a few finished items, which if you've watched my podcast for a little bit, then you will know that I'm not much of a finisher, I'm more of a starter. And also this is my microphone here, so I hope you're picking up the audio okay. So the first finished item that I have is just a small project bag. This is actually going to be used as a notions pouch. My local craft shop, on your shopping bags, they give you these little MDF tags, and I usually save them, and this one I've just attached to the zip. So there's a little bit of a story behind this project. So my sister's actually bought a sewing machine and she wanted to learn not how to use it, because she has used my machine, but she wanted to make some projects. So easy start, we did a quilt as you go project bag. This is just scrap fabrics that I had, and it's got a little tab here. Now for this I just followed Erica Arnott's video on a quilt as you go zipped pouch, and it's completely lined. Yeah. So really happy with that, and I just really enjoyed using fabrics that, you know, just sing to your soul, so I really like that. And next up, I've actually finished my springtime quilt. It was almost finished on the last podcast. I don't think I had the binding on, so I've added the binding on now, which is this lovely fuchsia pattern, and it's just got a gingham backing, and you can probably see the quilting a little bit better if I held it well. I've got a few of these. If anyone has got any tips on how to avoid tucks like that, I would really appreciate it. Another one there. I was quite disheartened when I finished this, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's because I based on the carpet and I can't get it very smooth. I did watch a video where someone taped out the backing just to really stretch it. I might have to do that. I don't have a table big enough. I don't really have the floor space. So if anyone has any tips, just let me know, please. I might do a quilt as you go quilt to avoid this. So that's the quilting that I did. And it's just a really simple, scrappy log cabin quilt. I think I used 1.5 inch strips, and it was all from stash apart from the backing and the binding. And again, I just did colours that really spoke to me. And I've called it the spring quilt because I think, like a lot of people, I get quite depressed in the winter, and I wanted to put this on top of my bed, on top of our standard duvet, just to remind me that spring is coming. And this is the quilt label that I made. It's made on my embroidery machine. I did make a video on how I made this if you also have an embroidery machine. So it just says, I'm not sure if it's back to front, it is on my camera. So it says, the spring quilt, no matter how long the winter, spring is sure to follow. Made by Rachel Tomlinson, spring 23. Here's a little bit of a lie, I think I started it in summer of 22. But at least it's finished, and that's just attached when it's almost finished. So I sewed my binding up until this point. I just added that and then continued to sew the binding. I used polyester filling in this because I wanted it to be a little bit more puffy, so you can see probably on the back you'll be able to see a little bit more that it does have quite a lot of dimension. So I really liked that. Who knows, has anyone else's hay fever been so bad? I think it's caught me off guard because the weather hasn't been very good here in the UK, so I wasn't expecting to get hay fever, so I'm not on top of my normal tablets that I take, because I do suffer really bad. I have to get tablets from the doctors. Yesterday I was so bad. Now my next finished item is also a machine pieced quilt. This has been gifted, so I haven't got the physical item to show you, but I've took lots of photos and videos which I'll insert over the top just while I'm talking about it. So this was a gift for a family friend who, at the time when I started it, she hadn't had the baby, but she's had the baby now. It's a little boy, so I was quite glad of my colour scheme that I chose. It is neutral, but perhaps with the greens and the blues a little bit more on the boy side. I just did a simple square, whatever you call that, a random square machine pieced thing, and then I just added, I think it was a 3-inch border. The squares are 3.5, so then the finished size of the squares is also 3-inch, so I just matched that with the border. The only mistake is that I meant to make it rectangular going down, portrait, and I've actually made it rectangular landscape. I don't think it will have too much of an issue. Again, it's polyester batting, I think, yes it is. So I said to her that it's more of like a play mat for playtime, dens, tummy time, whatever she needs to do on the floor with the baby. Yeah, she was really happy with it. I just quilted it in a rectangular pattern, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. The only thing is that I used just cheap poly cotton from my local craft shop. I think that was like £1.50 per fat quarter, and I think I used maybe 6 or 8 fat quarters, and then the backing was maybe like £10 a metre, so it wasn't that expensive in comparison to what you would pay for 100% cotton. So in places I was a little bit more disappointed with the quality of the fabric. But she is a distant family friend, but the baby was a very special baby, so I did want to give her something to mark the baby, but yeah, kind of wish it was better quality, but if you're gifting it, you can't always afford that, can you? Oh, one other thing, and my finished items, me and my sister also made these really cute quilted baskets just out of stash fabric. And these have just got little knickknacks in around the house. She then did make me these ones here just as a little present. I think it was a thank you for teaching how to make them. So I love those. Now the next section we'll move on to is items I am currently working on. If you know me, I've got a lot of whips, so this is just the ones that I've been working on since we've last spoke. Now I've been making a English paper pieced quilt with my grandma's clothes, so I'll show you that. Now last time I've now decided to surround all of the stars and turn them into hexagons. I don't think I was doing that last time I spoke to you. So I've got a few pairs of my nan's linen trousers, so these whites are linen trousers and this is a linen shirt, and the rest I think are sort of cotton polyester mix. I did try and take the paper, well I did take the papers out of this one, and it is really soft, as you would expect cotton blouses to be. It was quite hard getting the papers out of these centre ones. I don't know if my glue was too thick, but what I might try and do is iron them first, because I think the heat releases a little bit of the glue. So I'll try that, because I usually use a crochet hook and run it around the glue edge, but in some places my crochet hook was actually going through the fabric, so I don't want to damage Now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this one. Now, I can't get the camera to focus on this particular fabric, but this is a shirt and it's sort of got holes in the fabric, and I didn't realise that until I started sewing it. So I am worried about the longevity of the fabric. I'll see if I can insert a photo. I might not even be able to take a photo, but it's very subtle, but it's sort of all over, so I don't know what to do, whether to not use that one anymore, but that one is one of my favourites. So there are a lot of blues, greys and purples, because my nan always wore these type of blouses. So all I'm going to do is just continue to make these, and it will just be as big as it is. I might then, if it's not very big, I might then applique onto a piece of white fabric. And what I then might do, when you would normally applique the shapes, you would cut away the excess fabric in the middle, if that makes sense. So if you imagine a large rectangle, I'll piece these on and then you would cut away the middle so there wasn't another layer of cotton behind. But because these are quite thin, the fabrics, I might leave that cotton behind, so it'll be the quilt top, a layer of cotton, then the batting, and then the backing. So it'll be a 4-layer sandwich. If you've ever done anything like that, just let me know, because I would be interested to see how that would work. I will be hand quilting this, so yeah, I'm not sure how much I'll use this quilt. What I might do here in my living room, I might buy a quilt ladder and display it on the quilt ladder along with some of my other quilts, if I ever finish them. Now, the only other thing that I've been working on is my crochet cardigan. I showed this in the last podcast. This is as much as I've got left of one ball, but this is Hayfield Special DK. I'll get the colour. I'll put the colour on the screen because it's behind me in the cabinet. So yeah, I've now done the back and the first front. I'll show you a picture. I bought this pattern on Etsy. It's called the Romy Cardi by Manatee Squares. So that's the pattern. So I've just got to make the next front panel. This is the front panel. Oh, that's upside down. So it's a really nice holey stitch. I'm a bit scared that it's not quite big enough. I did a swatch and my swatch was too big, so I've gone down a size. This is the large. I would have done extra large, but I think it's got quite a bit of positive ease already in the pattern. So we shall see. I'm going to Berlin for the week. Well, I think it's Tuesday to Saturday. So I'd really like to get that finished so I can wear it in Berlin. But that is, I think I'll go in 10 days. I think I go on the 8th of May and today's the 28th of April. I don't think I'll get that finished in time, but we shall see. And that's pretty much all that I've been working on. I do have some incoming goodies because, like I said, my sister's got into sewing, so we actually hit up the local quilting shop. We was in there for quite a while, so the longer we was in there choosing her fabrics, the more I wanted to buy. But I was quite good with myself. But tomorrow I'm going on a workshop for hand dyeing yarn, so I am really, really excited. You do get 2 skeins of yarn included, but you can buy additional yarn. So what I might do is increase that to 4 skeins, so buy 2 additional skeins myself, and then I assume you have the option to do like 2 different colourways. At least that's what I'm hoping, so then I can have 200 grams of each colourway that I do, rather than just having the 100 grams. And then I think I'd like to make some shawls. to actually drape over my shoulders rather than wear as a scarf, just so that when I'm sitting out in the garden in the summer or around the house, you know, in the autumn time, when you want a blanket around your shoulders but it's not practical, I thought if I made some shawls that might be really nice. So that's what I'm hoping to do with them. Let me know if 200 grams isn't enough, because from the shop, it's actually called River Knits, it's in Northamptonshire, it's about an hour from where I am, and they also hand dye their own yarn, and they have a shop. I couldn't get my words out then. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to maybe buy something tonal to match, just to make that yarn go a little bit further. But 2 or 3 minutes away in the car is quite a large quilting shop that I've wanted to go to for quite a while, but I'm not that confident in driving. So I've been waiting for my sister to come with me, I've been waiting for my partner to take me, but I don't want to drag my partner around the quilt shop for a couple of hours. So the workshop finishes at 4 tomorrow, but they have emailed to say it might run over, but then the quilt shop closes at 5. So I'm hoping we'll get to go to the quilt shop, even if it's just for a little look. I might take some photos during the workshop and also of the quilt shop, and I'll post those over on my Instagram. So if you're interested, do follow me on Instagram. I'll leave the link to that below. So I'm not sure if I'll make any purchases in the quilt shop tomorrow. If I do, they might be a little rushed, impulse purchases. But what I'm hoping is, if I go there and I'm okay driving, then I'll have the confidence to go back to the quilt shop. I don't have to wait for anyone else. Yeah. We were also hoping, it's me and my sister who are going to Berlin. There is a quilt shop. I think it might be sort of 45-minute walk away from where we're staying in Berlin. Now, I did mention to her when she wasn't into sewing, she didn't have a sewing machine, that we could go. She was like, yeah, sure. But now we are definitely going to go. And we're both hoping that we can buy fabric to actually make a quilt to commemorate our trip. We do have different styles and colours that we like, so I think we'll just both make individual quilts. Now, I went off on a tangent there. Now, the things that I bought from the quilt shop is called Social Studio in Tamworth, just outside of Birmingham, and I bought 2 things. The first was these frames to make bags like this. Can't get it to focus. I don't know if I haven't got the settings set right for it to actually focus, but what it does, it makes those types of bags, and the frame goes here. These are from Emmeline Bags, and it says on the back that there's a free pattern, and it's called the Retreat bag. So it will be quite a large bag, so I'm going to have that as a project bag, I think. And I bought these gorgeous fat quarters. It's a little bundle that they've made in store. So that's the one fabric. The next one is spools. And that's like a running stitch with some scissors and some gorgeous buttons. I quite like these sewing machines and those two together, but I do also like that one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for this bag. I might have a look, because I would like to do it patchwork rather than just one colour. I'm quite inspired to make project bags because I've got lots of projects. Does anyone else start a new project and then they have to make a bag to go with that project? I am terrible for that. Okay then, so I think that comes to the end of the video. It's just a little bit of a shorter one, but I just kept telling myself, you know what, just put the video out. It's better to have the video done and try and get some sort of schedule or be a little bit more regular on the channel. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment below just to encourage me to post in the future. But thank you guys so much. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram so you can see my course tomorrow. Bye.